Coming up on Cronkite News, the status of challenges to Prop 208. We'll explain the judge's decision on the education tax.
And later, what is the status with ASU's policies regarding masks and vaccines? We'll have the latest.
And later on Break It Down, how people of color are underrepresented in health professions.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Erin Slindy.
And I'm Rob Winder. Thank you for joining us. As the Telegraph fire grows in size, it nears the top 5 largest fires in Arizona history. Yesterday, it merged with the Mescal fire and has grown to almost 150,000 acres as crews are losing ground against it. The valley has been covered in a layer of smoke from the fires this week. Authorities say containment of the fire has regressed to about 59% as of this morning. More than 1,000 people were working along the Maricopa County line of the fire. So far, the fire has destroyed 22 structures since it began almost 2 weeks ago. And the drought isn't helping. With the intense heat and dry weather, the fire has burned through grass, timber, and brush near Superior and Globe.
A Maricopa County Superior Court judge dismissed all but one claim against Proposition 208, the Invest in Education Act. Legislative leaders challenged the 3.5% tax surcharge on the wealthy as an education funding initiative. They questioned if the measure was constitutional. Some of the claims challenged the proposition as infringing on the legislature's taxing and spending authority. They also took issue with the process of how a tax surcharge gets put into place.
One of the claims was that the voters in the state don't have the same authority as the legislature. And they were claiming that only the legislature can raise taxes. And that's simply not true.
The judge dismissed most claims. However, there is still a question about Prop 208 and the district expenditure limits. A trial date for this claim is expected to be set soon.
Earlier this week, ASU announced policies that required masks and twice-weekly COVID testing for on-campus students who weren't vaccinated or refused to upload a vaccination record. Governor Doug Ducey blasted the policy, saying a COVID vaccine is a choice and not a requirement. Cronkite News reporter Peyton Watts explains how an executive order changed university policy.
Ducey issued an executive order yesterday to ensure the successive policy is never enforced. Arizona State's policy has 2 sets of rules for students who are vaccinated versus unvaccinated. People who are fully vaccinated will not need to wear masks on ASU campus or inside ASU buildings. However, originally students who are not vaccinated will need to wear masks, submit a daily health check, and complete a COVID test twice a week.
We will still be providing, all of the tools and resources that students will need to manage through COVID-19, for those who are vaccinated and unvaccinated. And so all of those resources will, continue to be available to students. And we'll work within, the parameters of the governor's executive order to provide, the best environment, for all of our students.
ASU leadership is now looking into the governor's order and determining what policies can be enforced. The sudden change in ruling is leaving students at the university concerned on what to expect for the fall 2021 semester.
My concern in that area is less on the dishonesty and more of the actual effects on, say, immunocompromised students and faculty. Because the fact is, when we're talking about the vaccination, and any vaccination, it's not just you that benefits, it's the entire community.
ASU plans on issuing a new policy that will work within the governor's executive order, as well as keeping its students and staff safe. Peyton Watts, Cronkite News.
ASU leadership plans to release further guidance within the next couple of days.
Southwest Airlines flights have been grounded across the country as they deal with technology issues. Southwest said in a statement that they canceled hundreds of flights due to these problems. The problems started Monday. Airlines were receiving third-party weather updates which caused delays. Southwest says they canceled over 500 flights due to the technological problems Tuesday afternoon. And the FAA issued a nationwide ground stop at the request of the airline while the company, quote, resolved a reservation computer issue. But they resumed flights that evening. Southwest has continued services after reporting they fixed the computer problems causing the cancellations.
Coming up on Cronkite News, a mission to track objects that could be dangerous to Earth. How this Arizona professor is involved.
And later, has bad luck in the playoffs struck again for the Suns? We'll have what the next round might look like without Chris Paul, right after this.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons, your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS. Take a journey with Arizona PBS. Join us every Sunday afternoon for Destination Drama. Watch all your favorite PBS dramas like Grantchester.
I'm William Davenport, new vicar of Grantchester.
Poldark.
Nothing in my life has meaning without you.
And Victoria.
I know that I'm young, but I know my duty.
And if you missed a recent primetime drama, we'll help you catch up on those too. Destination Drama. Every Sunday afternoon at 1. Only on Arizona PBS.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
An Arizona professor has been appointed by NASA to lead a project to track asteroids that could slam into Earth. NASA approved the project to move on to the next steps with the design phase. Amy Miser is a professor of planetary sciences at the University of Arizona. She'll lead a team to build the Near-Earth Object Surveyor. It's an infrared telescope that will track and characterize any asteroids and comets that could one day crash into the planet. She says there are thousands of near-Earth objects that could be big enough to wipe out an area the size of Southern California.
We want to spot them when they are years to ideally decades away from any potential impact with the Earth, because the asteroids are actually very bright in these wavelengths. Even if the surface is as dark as a piece of coal, it glows very brightly at infrared wavelengths.
Miser says these objects release energy through infrared radiation, and that can be caught by the infrared sensors on the telescope. This telescope will be placed in an orbit that is about 5 times the distance from the Earth to the Moon. It will look to spot objects that could be as large as a football stadium. The mission is scheduled to launch in the first half of 2026. Right now, scientists haven't spotted any NEO objects near Earth that would threaten us this century.
The Arizona Science Center has been able to expand its STEM education outreach programs for the summer and fall thanks to a grant from the PNC Foundation. The foundation gave the center $50,000 to support the growth of STEM programs. The programs are estimated to affect more than 2,000 students and about 250 educators. The center is putting the money towards the Science on Wheels program as a part of the outreach efforts to bring STEM learning to an estimated 20,000 students in the Title I schools. Sari Cluster's Chief of Science and Curiosity told KTAR they want young people to have a love of science whether they go into STEM or not. Right now, the Arizona Science Center has the Science of Arachnids, which displays the largest collection of live arachnids in North America.
The hot temperatures continue to climb this week, and smoke continues to cover the valley. Let's go to Osama Awadallah to see what the rest of the week looks like.
Welcome to the Cronkite News Weather Center here in Phoenix. I have a look here at our heat alerts, which will be going on until 8 p.m. on Saturday. As you can see here, we're getting heat warnings. That's going to be all these pink parts right here. It's mostly in the western part of the state, and then it actually moves west as well. We're seeing it also in Southern California and Southern Nevada as well. Here's a look at the lows for tonight. 90 here in Phoenix, 87 out in Goodyear, 85 in Whitman, 84 up in Cave Creek, and then it's going to be 85 in Queen Creek, Mesa, and Chandler, and then we're looking at 86 degrees in Apache Junction. These are going to be the highs for tomorrow. 117 in Phoenix, also 117 in Gila Bend, 120 up in Bullhead City, 117 in Yuma, 112 in Tucson, and then 94 degrees up at the Grand Canyon. Here's a look at the UV index forecast. We're looking at a sunburn time of 45 minutes, so apply that sunblock if needed. Now a look at our PBS 8-day forecast. We're looking at 117 tomorrow, 117 on Friday, 115 on Saturday. And as for the rest of the week, we stay in triple digits. 114 on Father's Day, 109, 108, 110, and then 111 on Thursday. From the Cronkite News Weather Center here in Phoenix, Osama Awadallah.
I'm Harrison Clapp. Coming up after the break, all of your Cronkite Sports Report. Plus, how the Diamondbacks are having an historically bad stretch of road games. We'll have more for you on where the team is compared to other losing streaks in baseball history.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. And when you support your local station, you can get PBS Passport, giving you access to more episodes, more specials, more of what you love.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Harrison Clapp, and this is your Cronkite Sports Report. Some big news surrounding the Suns this morning, with several outlets reporting that Chris Paul has tested positive for the coronavirus and has entered the NBA's health and safety protocols. The Suns say Paul has entered protocols, but have not confirmed that he has tested positive. Emily Carmen is in the newsroom with more on how this might impact the team and its championship hopes.
NBA protocols require any player who tests positive for COVID-19 to quarantine for at least 10 days. They must also have a negative test to return to the court. Now, that timeline could be longer, but it also could be shorter if Chris Paul tests negative and only came into contact with a COVID-positive person. Either way, there is a good chance that the Suns' star guard will miss Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Let's look at the possible scenarios. The Suns play the winner of the Jazz Clippers series. Right now, that's tied at 2-2 with Game 5 tonight. If it only goes 6 games, the Suns would play Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals as early as Sunday, which is only 5 days into a potential 10-day quarantine for Paul. If the Clippers series goes to Game 7, the Suns won't play Game 1 until Tuesday, which leaves a little more room for Paul's return. Suns coach Monty Williams says his team will be prepared for anything.
You know, these are moments where you need a lot of faith. We're in the playoffs, and we got a chance to win and win big. And so my faith isn't going to waver now because we've had a few obstacles. We've had obstacles all season long, and we've gotten through a lot of stuff.
Fans are taking the Chris Paul news hard as they know this Suns team has had a string of bad luck in the playoffs, from bad calls to suspensions to injuries. Former Suns beat reporter Scott Bordeaux says it's hard not to think this is yet another bad break.
They can't believe this is happening again. This team, when healthy, has a great chance to win the NBA championship. And then this happens. I'm sure there are a lot of Suns fans just shaking their head this morning.
The Suns are still the winningest franchise in NBA history without a championship. While Chris Paul's status remains unclear for now, there is no doubt that Phoenix Suns fans are still hoping that this is the year. Harrison?
Thanks, Emily. The Suns say they will have an update on Chris Paul's availability on Saturday. The Diamondbacks are in the midst of the third longest road losing streak in baseball history, with 21 straight losses on the road. They dropped another to the Giants last night after leading by 7 runs early in the game. It wasn't enough, though, as they gave up a grand slam in the bottom of the 8th inning. This loss to the Giants makes it 12 straight losses for the D-backs, regardless of venue. The team will play the Giants 2 more times before returning to the Valley. That's it for the Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Aaron and Rob.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight.
Thanks for joining us.
Racial disparities in healthcare are made worse when the medical professionals are not people of color. We break it down next.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.